right. Yes. Thank
Yes,
you.
sir.
Thank you. Thank you. We have a very special guest with us today. But before I get to introduce him, I would like to talk about a few ground rules about the podcast and what will be happening in the future. So this is obviously a no bars hold. Is that the correct phrase? Not if I'm saying that correctly. No bars hold podcast where we will speak our own truth. As we say in the business, we like to say we speak our own truth, and then next podcast if we have a little hiccups, we can correct ourselves then. But we live in the moment here at Tech Culture. So that being said, I expect that every Wednesday and Saturday we will post podcast episodes. Don't hold me to that, though, because I am still a college student, and this is a little project that I would love to keep going, but I have my priorities. So, without further ado, I met this man in a very simple setting. It was at Suffolk University. It probably was in the basement. Where the boys are at, holla holla, right? And this man is a true gentleman, if I do say so. Please welcome Chris Krekorian.
Hello, people. How's it going, Ted?
Now, who is Chris Krekorian?
Oh, that's a loaded question. Who's Chris Krekorian? I don't know. I'm just a man on his way to living his truth, Can't stop
amen.
moving.
Amen, brother.
Amen.
Amen. Now, Chris, I know that you work at JCPenney.
Oh, of course.
Right? You love that job. That is your...
JCPenney, 3 years running.
3 years. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, head of the men's department. It's a fun experience.
That's amazing. Do you have any fun stories that you would like to share for the world?
Oh, boy. Fun stories. Okay, let me tell you, working at JCPenney, it is an experience unto itself. One of the craziest jobs I've ever had. Actually, it's probably the craziest job I've ever had since I'm only 19. The only other job I've had recently is the Suffolk computer lab job, and let me tell you, that's not fun at all. Anyway, JCPenney. There's this one story. It's kind of interesting. It's about my time as a cashier. So I'm working at JCPenney, and this is post the lockdown for at least Massachusetts. So anyone listening out there, stay strong. COVID can be a pain, but
I'd like to preface that we all have our COVID tests and we got negative results.
Yes, sir. Negative.
I just want to preface that
For the podcast.
for the podcast specifically.
Anyway,
continue.
So I'm working at JCPenney. This is post lockdown, and so I'm helping this fellow out. He's pretty big white guy. Comes up to me.
How big? Like if you use your arm.
If I was gonna hug him, I'd really need to embrace him. Like, he was very large. Like, I don't think I could get my hands around him.
You can't get your hands around him?
No, I don't think so.
Interesting.
Anyway, so I'm helping him out, and this huge lady walks through the door. And mind you, I love women, but this lady
Amen. On the podcast, we respect women. Continue.
This woman was huge. Like, oh my God. Like, she walks up, she's got this cane. She cuts the whole entire line, which, mind you, was pretty long because after our lockdowns, we had pretty long lines. She cuts this guy, and she just slams her hand on, the desk.
Oh, no.
And she's like, I need to be taken now. There's something wrong with my knees, I can't wait in the line. Of course, this guy's been waiting in line for, a long time. And mind you, he was also kind of impatient. So he goes up to me, he actually goes up to the both of us, me and this lady, and he goes, gotta get to the line, and he used pretty profane words.
Mask on or mask off?
Oh, he had a mask on. He wasn't a crazy,
okay.
but
just making sure.
He's like, you need to get to the back of the line, bitch.
He wasn't crazy.
Well, a little bit. Now that you think about it, but no, he's like, you gotta get to the back of the line, bitch. I've been waiting here for 30 minutes. You can't cut the line. And she was like, hell, fuck you. I have health problems. You can't tell me what to do. Yada yada yada. And this guy goes, and I mean, he kind of deserved what came to him afterwards. He goes, maybe if you weren't such a fat fuck, you wouldn't have this problem. And she did not take that the right way. Hits him over the head with a cane.
They're both.
I have to.
They're both plus size people.
Oh, they're plus size people, all right.
Okay.
They should be they're like Shaquille O'Neal level, like plus size.
Plus size.
Plus size.
So they're tall.
They're pretty tall.
Okay.
And she hits him over the head with her cane, and me and a friend of mine had to jump over the counter and restrain him from beating the crap out of her. Mind you, in the process, his flailing arms just nail me in the head.
Oh,
so
no.
I'm disoriented.
So as you were attempting to embrace him,
oh, my workers' comp, yeah.
Yeah. Did you get a reward, a bonus?
Yeah,
You
I
collected
got
his
a bag
bounty?
of frozen corn so I could ice my black eye.
Hey man, did you eat
Yeah.
it? Did you eat it
Did I
afterwards?
eat my corn after? No, I didn't.
Yeah, I mean you won the bag.
I have to also say, JCPenney, love your managers asking me after I get hit in the face if I still want to come to my shift.
And you said yes because you're.
Oh, hell no, I just said no. Oh, God. No,
Great story,
but
yeah.
working at JCPenney, interesting job.
Yeah, I mean I haven't worked that much in a retail. I mean, JCPenney's another level, and I try to stay away from that because those kinds of experience. Like I don't want to deal with Karens all the time, and
Yeah.
big. What do they call them? Kyles. What do they call the other guys?
Kyles?
Chads?
What?
Chads? A
What?
male Karen. Anyway, so
Male Karen.
yeah, so I don't want to deal with those kinds of people. I mean, I see them every now and then. I work at an ice cream shop, Upton, Mass. JJ's Ice Cream Shop. God bless. Reppin'. So yeah, I mean, I work at the ice cream shop, and I see these. I see Karens every now and then, but you take their order for like 5 seconds, and they're done. Plus, you're behind like a building, so like they're outside ordering,
What's
it's more distance away from you too.
What's the most Karen thing somebody has said to you?
Most Karen thing? I don't know. It's not even too bad. Where I am, it's not too bad. There's some real creeps. There's some real guy creeps that's that try to hit on the lady workers, but that's another story. But the most Karen thing, I don't know. People come up to me and they ask like, "Oh, can I have things this way, this way, this way?" And then I'll make the ice cream. Usually it's like a sundae. I'll make the ice cream sundae, and then I come give it to them, and they're like, "This is not what I ordered." And I'm like, "Come on, lady," you know what I mean? And I just, you got to be that passive aggressive nice, like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'll go fix that right away," because you have to make them look bad, because they're just being so rude, So I mean.
I was going to say the most Karen thing I've ever heard anyone say is Trump's going to win because God wants him to win.
God wants him.
God wants him to win.
If God wills him to win, then he will win. Now I have no political affiliation, but I am a man of God.
You're not affiliated with the United States Communist Party.
I'm not affiliated with the Green. I'm affiliated with
the Green Party.
I'm a representative of the Green Party. Joe Jorgensen, right?
Joe Jordan? No, I think she's a libertarian.
She's a libertarian.
Yeah.
I take that back. I'll cut that out.
So Ted, I have a question.
Oh, you have a question for me? Yes. Yeah. Hit it up.
How would you power rank? Have you been to McDonald's recently?
No, I'm actually on a diet, but
you're on a diet.
Yeah. I'm trying to lose some the corn titties.
Quarantine fat.
And the little freshman 15 weight, you know what I mean?
That is true.
I've become a little big man, so.
Nah, you look good. you look good. You look good. You've been to McDonald's though, right?
I have been to McDonald's.
How would you power rank your McDonald's food?
My food, you gotta go. Oof.
McRib is back.
McRib. That's what I was gonna bring up. I was gonna say, for me at least, my definitive.
I did see. I saw that you got the McRib recently.
Yeah,
the McRib. Do you enjoy it?
Oh yeah, my definitive review of the McRib. Great sandwich. A little too much barbecue sauce, but I still think.
And you get all the toppings?
Oh, all the toppings.
All the toppings? You like the pickles too?
You get the pickles and the onions. I think it might be the greatest McDonald's sandwich ever. And I know that's a really hot take.
I think that's a popular opinion. Everyone loves the McRib. Maybe because it's limited, or maybe it's just because it's delicious.
I will say though, in a close second, very close second, is the McLobster. Oh my God, the McLobster.
Is that a regional thing?
It is a regional thing to, I believe, Massachusetts. I don't know if like Maine or any other state gets it, but I know Massachusetts definitely gets it.
Yeah.
You're not getting the McLobster out in Los Angeles, but
Obviously.
oh my God, the
Oh
McLobster,
my God.
second best McDonald's sandwich behind the McRib. Then
Yeah.
you get your normals like the Big Mac and the Quarter Pounder,
Okay.
and then you got like your chicken nuggets. Actually, no, McDonald's chicken nuggets are pretty good.
They're good.
I'd say they're maybe like number 4 behind the 2 exclusive sandwiches and the Big Mac, and then
Yeah.
you got your McDonald's nugs.
Do the fries count
All
as a
right.
meal?
You
Fries.
see, that's what I've
Do
been
they
rolling
count
in my
as a meal?
mind because
Sometimes I'll just go and I'll get fries.
Really? Oh, I never
Yeah.
did that.
And if you get like a shake or like an ice cream, dude,
Oh, like a
dipping the
McFlurry?
fries in the
Oh, that's a
in
really
ice cream.
I will say
That's more Wendy's thing, though.
That's more Wendy's because they got the
the frosty.
frosty, and that's pretty cheap.
Maybe
Sometimes.
I don't know if this is a hot take, but I am not a fan of dipping your French fries into ice cream. That's disgusting.
Different strokes
to
for
me.
different folks, man. You know,
Folks for different
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 folks
for different strokes.
I mean, if you don't like it, it's niche. I mean, it's an acquired taste. So I mean, if you don't like it, there's just nothing I can do. Like I don't like tomatoes. Are you gonna make me?
I feel like that's less of a hot take now
tomatoes?
because I've met so many people recently that don't like tomatoes. I think tomatoes
Don't
are
like
the
tomatoes.
gutter vegetable of our generation.
Yeah, I mean, at one point in
Is it a vegetable?
it's a
Oh
ve-
God, is it? No, is it a
That's
fruit?
a different. No, that's a different.
I feel like somebody's told me
Conversation.
recently in the past that tomatoes are fruits for some reason.
They're both. Well, they're either. No, they're. Well, I don't know. Ask a scientist, bro. I don't know.
A scientist.
No, but do you know in history when they first started packaging, it is a fruit.
It's a fruit?
Okay, thank you.
Berry. It's a berry.
Oh, it's a
Whoa.
berry.
What?
Wow, that's it. You heard it here first. It's a berry. So, so in the early history, when they first started packaging tomatoes, it was in usually a lead or a tin can, and tomatoes, they absorb metals, heavy metals too. So when people would eat it, they would keep thinking tomatoes are poisonous. So a lot amount of people thought that tomatoes were poisonous and stayed away. But now cans they got a plastic lining around the metal cans, so the tomatoes don't absorb and aren't poisonous.
Tomatoes are disgusting, just in
They're- I don't
general.
like them.
They're like the gutter. Yeah, they're gutter fruit.
But we wouldn't have pizza without.
That
Yeah,
is
you
true.
wouldn't
That
have
is true.
pizza.
You wouldn't have pizza and you wouldn't have ketchup. So
You wouldn't have
Pasta
ketchup.
sauce.
You wouldn't have pasta sauce.
maybe it's the hero. It's the hero that we don't want, but it's the hero we deserve.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tomatoes.
Yeah.
Dark Knight.
Dark Knight. Amen. So, tell me a little bit more about yourself. What is your music taste and your inspirations?
Oh,
Start with music.
boy.
Start with music.
Music taste. That is an interesting question. Kind of everything. I listen to a good mix of pop and rap,
Yeah.
but I'm also not. There's nothing wrong with a little show tunes once in a while. Big fan of the musical Hamilton.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I love that, dude.
You love Hamilton?
No, my brother was super obsessed with it. He would just be singing it around the house,
I have to
and I would be
say-
like, "What is this?"
As
And then I watched it. I was like, "This is."
As somebody who's
Fantastic.
a big fan of history and also very, mind you, I'm a political science major, it is the greatest musical of all time. It's so, the replayability is just off the charts,
Yeah.
I think it's like, it's profound. Not to, like, mind you, it also came out in 2014, so
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying anything new, but if you get a chance, if you haven't listened to it, you gotta listen to it. It's great.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, it's complex too. That it's like so extravagant, that entire musical. Now, I was listening to an interview with a blind person. They tried listening to
The blind person was being interviewed, or they
The
were
blind
with
person
you?
was
They
being
were with
interviewed.
you listening to an interview.
the blind person was being interviewed on, and they said it was too complex for them, or they couldn't see it. They could only hear it, and it was kind of freaking them out. But maybe that overwhelming of the senses is kind of what makes it so good. You know what I mean?
Ted, do you use
What's the
Spotify?
secret?
Do you use Spotify?
Yes, I do. Oh, did you get your Wrapped?
You might, yeah,
Did
my
you get your
Wrapped.
Spotify
Oh
Wrapped?
my, yeah. For our listeners, it's
Amazing, dude.
It's December, so we're getting our Spotify 2020 wrap.
Yeah, we're recording this on December 6th.
Beautiful Sunday.
Beautiful Sunday evening, a little chilly, but the sun is out and it is
In
blue
the
skies
evening,
in
in the
Boston.
evening, he just said good evening. The sun is out.
Beautiful day. Anyway, so we got our Spotify Wrapped. Chris, tell me a little bit about
Oh,
little
my
bit about it.
Wrapped.
Yeah, can you-
So there's definitely a lot of artists on there you probably don't know. My number one was AJR. It's a pretty decent
All right,
band.
yeah.
My second, I believe, was Khalid, and then Eminem,
All
and
right.
then I believe a band named the 1975.
Yeah. Oh, there's some people I know about that. That's a good band.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
they're very good. They're very,
Very
good.
good, yes.
I had a friend of mine introduce me to them a while back, and I have to tell you, every female I've met, 1975 has been on their playlist. So
Wow.
for all you guys out there,
Wow.
1975.
Yeah, you
Great
heard it
band.
here. 1975. As long as you have it down on your playlist, there's a chick out there, many chicks out there
Many chicks out there.
that also had that on their playlist. So that's a bonus. 1975 is a chick magnet.
You know what? But as guys, we need a retake. It's 1975 for the boys. Yeah, take it back.
For the boys,
For the boys.
we're gonna start a war. All right. Now, if we started a war, who would you have on your team?
Like demographics, 100%
In your-
Native Americans.
Native American, Chuck Norris. Yeah.
Democrat.
We're singling. We get some individuals in your battalion. Who would you have? You're the leader of the battalion. Who would you have?
Oh, like
you just name a few.
individuals?
Yeah,
Oh,
individuals.
God.
Jr. in that movie, he did blackface.
Yeah, the blackface
What?
movie.
Robert
Yeah.
Downey Jr. did
That was
blackface?
good. Jungle Fever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I'll,
was gonna
I'll
have
take him.
people.
Ben Stiller.
Yeah.
He makes it.
Gump.
Forrest Gump. I'll
feel
take
like-
Forrest Gump, and I'll take Michelle Obama. Anyway. Oh,
Michelle Obama.
She's got strength, bro.
she's got those muscles. You know what I mean?
I'm taking Melania Trump.
Melania Trump.
I mean, I think Adam Sandler would just make the other side want to like commit suicide.
Adam
so maybe
Sandler?
Adam Sandler.
Standler or
I watched
Sandler?
Click the other day.
Yeah, did you?
Beautiful
No, I
movie,
haven't.
Click. Beautiful movie.
Watched that at 2 a.m.
And maybe like Charlie Baker.
Charlie Baker.
Oh, did you get that message recently on your phone about Charlie Baker's? It was like stay inside, like COVID's crazy.
I've not gotten that message.
I was gonna
no.
say I sent a text to a friend of mine and I sent them the screenshot of me getting the message, and then underneath the caption was Charlie Baker, hey, what's up? or hey, you up? And
He's
I was like,
DMing you?
Yeah, he's DMing me.
Oh my God. So you guys are brothers in arms. Yeah.
No, Charlie Baker's more like a stalker that like comes after you.
Well, I mean, you want him on your battalion, so he's a guy you can trust, right?
Yeah, just so we can send messages out to people like stay inside or
Yeah.
don't wear your mask.
Yeah.
I mean, you should out there.
You should wear your mask, obviously. Follow COVID guidelines. Get your tests done if you want to see people.
You
That's
get
what
your
we've been
test.
doing, and it's been working. So that was our lineup for the Battle of the Sexes. We got Michelle Obama and Melania Trump against the world. So
Yeah, I think Michelle and Melania would actually be a real good team.
a dynamic duo.
2024 people, Trump, Obama,
Trump Obama.
but just not the ones you're thinking of.
Yeah.
Aaron and Sasha.
Baron and
Baron and
Sasha.
Sasha. Dude,
They definitely,
We get
they
Baron
definitely
for
for
president, yeah.
100%. They're like the modern
The
day
chemistry.
Romeo and Juliet.
yeah, the chemistry. Yeah. Oh,
Our
the
parents will
Montagues and
keep
the
us
Capulets.
apart.
Capulets. Oh my God.
Yeah, but
that would be a beautiful
aren't
story.
Republicans and Democrats the modern day Capulets and Montagues?
Capulets and Montagues, yeah.
That's basically
That's
true.
poetic, yeah.
Yeah, I know.
That's crazy.
Pretty artsy.
Yeah, so you know the actor Ellen Page?
Oh yeah.
Former actor Ellen Page.
Stop,
New actor Elliot Page.
Elliot Page.
Made the transition. Now, you've seen her in Super, you've seen her in Umbrella Academy, you've seen her in Inception.
Juno.
In Juno especially, yeah, fantastic films. Now, what's your take on these
My take on transgenders.
on transgender? Well, I was gonna say these trans. I was gonna say what on this transition. These transitions is what I was gonna say.
I mean, honestly, as a stance on everything, pretty much. I think the ideology I go behind is like hey, listen, if you're not hurting anyone else, then it's fine by me. If you're not hurting anyone, do what you want to do. I don't think she's hurting anyone, so she can do what she does.
Yeah.
Or he can do what he does. Actually, it's funny because I had a friend of mine who I used to say that she looked like Ellen Page.
She looked like Elliot Page?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was kind of funny because she sent me the other day. She's like, you trying to tell me something? I'm like, no. But,
Oh, she just said yes.
no, she's cool.
Yeah. I had a friend call me up, and he was like, oh my God, have you heard about this transition? He was so excited that he transitioned. He's like, this is a win for the team. We just got a dub because we got a gorgeous man on the male side.
It's a win for the team. Yeah.
It's a win for the team. So, I mean, this is beautiful stuff. I mean, my kind of take on all this is that, people are born with that, different neurons, and if they identify as a man, as a woman, as the opposite gender, as no gender, but we're not sticking binary. There's a whole spectrum out there. So, I mean, if they want to be who they are, I mean, if that's what their brain tells them and what they feel comfortable with, I completely support it. I completely support it.
Amen.
Amen. And it's hard out there. So I definitely want to give my I want to put my 2 cents in, and I want to say go support transgender people because they need it. It's rough. It's rough. Homosexuals are becoming more accepted now. They've had a really rough time in the past, but I think they're becoming more and more included and more normalized. So I think it's a fantastic thing. I think that these transgenders and the non-binaries, different sexual orientations, everything's becoming more accepted, but still it is rough. You go to some places, they won't be as accepting.
Yeah, I will say, at least in where we live, Massachusetts, I mean, we're pretty progressive up here in Mass.
Yes.
But I will say down south, I've heard some kind of horror stories, but.
Yeah, but I mean, so if you're listening, go to your transgender friend, or if you see a transgender out there, or someone non-binary,
Or anyone just part of the LGBT.
Gender fluid, LGBTQA. Go out to them, give them a hug if they want one, obviously.
In a post,
don't just give them a hug. Don't just give them a hug.
Maybe.
But give them a compliment, maybe not in a creepy way. Just give them and just support them. Have their back.
Ted, I'll give you a compliment.
I'm not. Yeah. Well, I mean, I'll take it.
I like your big old ears.
My big ears.
Yeah.
Big
old ears.
Tickle ears. Yeah.
Tickle ears.
All
Tickle
right.
bitties.
We respect women on this podcast, Chris.
I don't know what that means, Chris.
Yeah, Chris. You're gonna have to educate.
Sorry, that's a
you have to
foreign
educate me.
language.
Is that a street term?
Yeah, that's a street term.
All right, Chris. So, do you have any other topics that you want to talk about?
Yeah, we can talk about a few things. If you want to go sports related, we can talk about the state of the franchise of a few NFL or NBA franchises, or we can go somewhere else.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'd like to bring on my sports specialist and behind the scenes specialist, cameraman, and all around great guy, Kelly Maloney. Give a round of applause for Kelly Maloney. Take it away.
Hey, it's me,
Yo, what's up, Kelly?
Chris. Nice to see you.
So Kelly, what leagues are you fans of?
Anything.
NFL,
NFL
NBA?
mostly. NBA I follow with. Do fantasy for NBA.
You do fantasy for NBA?
Yeah, it's fun. Ton of fun.
So
Let's get a Suffolk League going.
Oh, a Suffolk Fantasy League. That would make a lot of sense.
I would.
You're in a league, you ready?
I am in a Suffolk Fantasy League. Shout out to the Self and Society class. Our fantasy league is actually killing it right now. Third place, 8-4. Feeling okay, but I'm 6-6 in another league, and this is our last week before playoffs, and I have the tiebreaker over like 5 people for last spot in the playoffs. So I'm really hoping to pull out a win today.
Dude, so in one of my leagues, the manager, he changed the playoff settings, like literally just like the other day.
For football?
So he can be in the playoffs. He just added more teams.
Yeah, our fantasy league is we have a lot of spikes in our fantasy league, so we're going pretty hardcore right now.
Feel that.
Anyway, so I was trying to discuss the state of the franchise. What are the New England Patriots doing right now? What is our game plan? We're 5-6.
I wouldn't say R. I'm not a Patriots fan. I won't say who I'm a fan.
Oh,
of, I'm embarrassed. But
he's embarrassed. Yeah, you can tell what gutter team he fucking roots for.
Yeah, no merch on today, just the comfy. But the Patriots, I would say. Do you think Cam's the answer? I wouldn't say
is
so.
Is Cam the answer? Well,
I'd say he's more of a bridge quarterback right now.
See, that I think it just depends on age. How old is Cam Newton?
Maybe they draft a guy, keep Cam around for like a Taysom Hill role.
He's 31. I don't like how old he is. That's the main problem. If he was 27,
and he's like half running back, half quarterback, so he's taking a lot of hits.
I just don't even know what the hell they're like doing passing wise. Cam only has 1,984 passing yards in 13 games. That's like
pretty sad.
That's very low. I mean, mind you, he does do a lot of his work on the ground as a running quarterback with I don't know how many rushing yards he has, but he definitely has a lot of rushing yards for a quarterback. But
yeah, for sure. But not a lot of help from the receivers.
Yeah, and I have to say, over the years, I don't know what the heck our offense is doing. If you look at least our 2014 roster, so we had Julian Edelman, Rob Gronkowski, Danny Amendola, Randall LaFell. I mean, we always had scrub receivers, but I think recently, just in the past few years, since maybe Super Bowl 51, which was the Falcons Super Bowl.
I want to talk about it. Cut it out.
Since that year, I mean, I feel like our offense has been declining. Of course, we lost Gronkowski as he got older and just more hurt. I mean, Edelman's been a steady receiver, but I mean, I don't think
injury prone in these past couple of years.
Yeah, he has been injury prone. I don't think you either. Also, I don't think you want him as your number one option.
He's never been a number one option.
He's a very good number two option.
Yeah, very.
But I feel like you need that big receiver like Mike Evans or.
They've tried. Who'd they draft?
N'Keal
Harry. Yeah, Harry.
Yeah, I honestly think N'Keal Harry's a bust.
It's looking like it right now, but.
I mean, so looking at least the New England Patriots' future, I mean, I think right now mind you, their roster very old. Devin McCourty, Jason McCourty, both I believe are 30-year-old defensive backfielders, so they're gonna get older. And I mean, Dante Hightower's pretty old. And
a lot of people, what was it, six Patriots starters or something? 6 Patriots defenders are out from COVID related reasons.
And that could be personally, I think that might be a good thing for them right now, because if they're football players are older. I mean, it's kind of a little different for football players versus basketball players, because basketball players, at least, you don't really track how long their career's been by the amount of years they play. You track it by the amount of minutes they play, because basketball players are always running. And I mean, for football players, we kind of don't do the same, because if you look at a 35, or actually for quarterbacks it's a little different, but for running backs, if you're a 33-year-old running back, you're pretty old.
Yeah.
You're pretty old at that point, so
It's very dependent on position. Basketball, it depends on skill set, I would say. If you're a three-point shooter, you can play well into your late 30s.
Yeah, look at, I think Kyle Korver's pretty old.
Yeah, he's still playing.
39 years old,
yeah.
Kyle Korver.
So if you can shoot, there's always a spot open.
But at least for the Patriots, like I said, I mean, most of their players are on the opposite side of their primes. To say that's probably the best I can say. I don't know. I believe they have draft picks, but I think the question is whether or not they're going to tank during the Bill Belichick era. I don't think Belichick wants to tank, but I feel like that would be our best avenue. I mean, there are some really
as long as the Jets are there, though, you're not going to win the tank battle.
Oh yeah, no. I was talking to a friend of mine the other day. So I believe the Patriots play the Jets last week of the season. If the last week of the season comes and the Jets are 0-15, do the Patriots just tank the last game and just give it to the Jets so that they don't get the number 1 draft pick?
Do you think the Jaguars will have another win by then?
Let me see. Jacksonville Jaguars.
Because they're the only team that's close, right? I think they have one
I
win.
don't believe so. They're playing.
And I don't know who would have the tiebreaker.
They're playing the Vikings, Vikings, Titans, Ravens, Bears, Colts. All those teams are trying to push for a playoff spot.
Yeah, the only team they could maybe get would be the Bears.
Yeah.
And that would take like 3 Foles or Trubisky interceptions.
I think Foles is not starting for them at this point. Mind you, there are a lot of teams this year. I mean, I think COVID actually has made the season very interesting. Did you see the Broncos situation with their no quarterbacks?
Yeah, he's a wide receiver on the practice squad. He did play quarterback in college. They actually
Kendall Hilton.
They took his wristband from the game and they put it in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, which I thought was pretty cool.
Really? Why?
Even though he had 2 interceptions and one completed pass.
Wait, why did they take?
I think because it's like, I don't know, for like historical reasons, because it's like a thing people will look back on. Like, remember when the Broncos started a practice squad wide receiver at quarterback?
Oh, that's not the best. That's not the reason that should be in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Oh my God, that's
threw
like
2 picks,
roasting.
but you know.
Mind you, there's also been oh my God. So I don't know if you follow anyone on YouTube, at least for NFL, but like the official NFL page has been like their YouTube headlines their headlines for some of these videos are so funny. It's like Taysom Hill, like they'll have a like highlight of Taysom Hill throwing an interception. And the
hopefully we see that today, Sunday.
Oh God, no, I hope not, because I got I have Taysom Hill in fantasy this week.
I started him at tight end a couple weeks ago. That was
Oh my God, no, I was so if we just want to talk about fantasy strategy wise, if they kept Taysom Hill at tight end, if they had him have tight end eligibility,
I wouldn't have lost.
It would have ruined fantasy.
Yeah, I wouldn't have
because
lost.
anyone with Taysom Hill basically starts 2 quarterbacks at that point. So like, the only other thing they could do is I think they could have kept him as tight end eligible. But I think you would have to remove his passing yards and passing TDs from scoring.
I don't think he scored a passing TD.
He didn't, but I think like if you have him, if you accrue fantasy points
or a running back, honestly.
Yeah, if you accrue fantasy
running back eligibility.
If you accrue fantasy stats at a separate position, but like you're a quarterback, you kind of are overpowered because the quarterbacks have the most power over the ball because they literally touch it every down. But I mean, if we get back to sorry to go off, but the Patriots. Trevor Lawrence in this draft. I think he's probably the best NFL quarterback prospect since Andrew Luck.
Yeah, for sure. There's a good amount of quarterback prospects in this draft, though, so I don't think he's like it's Lawrence or bust. Like, there's a ton. Kid from BYU, I don't remember his name, but they lost this weekend.
Oh yeah, BYU. Oh, did you see what happened to him?
Yeah, the
bullying of that kid. That was interesting. I thought that was.
To be fair, I think most teams teach that like turnover. All right, go block the quarterback. Like, I think that's common practice among coaches, but it was a little excessive.
I will say I think that's if you're gonna teach unnecessary roughness at like at a coach, you're not coaches meeting, but a ref like teaching seminar. I feel like that's like the definition of like unnecessary roughness. Anyway, so if we're looking at the quarterbacks for the Patriots, I mean, if we don't think Cam's the option, this year they could get Trevor Lawrence. If they really tried, they'd have to trade a boatload of draft picks. Justin Fields in this draft, who I've heard from a lot of people, I don't know, some people have him above Lawrence. I wouldn't, but he's interesting because he's got like this very dynamic skill set. So I think if I was a team that needs a quarterback, I'd look at him. There's Trey Lance, he's from North Dakota State.
Carson.
Yeah, I was gonna say he gives me Carson Wentz vibes. There's Zach Wilson from Cougars. I mean, like BYU, like
another possible option. Here, just Sam Darnold? Question mark. If the Jets are going to be taking Lawrence,
I've thought of that, but I don't think the Jets would be inclined to trade a Sam Darnold because if they think he's crap, then I don't know, maybe, but. I think the Patriots have an interesting future. They're a lot like my other sports franchise that I follow, the San Antonio Spurs. It's like, I feel like in the sports world, you don't want to be like in the middle. I feel like that's the worst place to be in. You either want to be like, the Falcons. What's your opinion on Matt Ryan? Gotta go?
we can win with Matt Ryan. It's just I don't know, with a new coach, like literally like next year, it'll be interesting to see. I'm all for keeping Matt Ryan around. I love Matt Ryan. I think he's a good quarterback. I think next quarterback we go with definitely needs to be a dual threat, because that's the way the league is going. Like all the best quarterbacks right now are dual threat.
Do you have a coaches list of who you want to see be interviewed for head coaches?
I would definitely want Bieniemy, for the Chiefs offensive coordinator, to be interviewed. There's a few other ones out there, but I like the job Raheem Morris has done. So he took over for Dan Quinn after Dan Quinn got fired, and he's done a good job. The defense has been like top 10 since he's took over. The offense, we need a new offensive coordinator. That's what we really need. Dirk Cutter sucks. But
How did you feel about them hiring Adam Gase once he's fired from the Jets?
Nobody should hire Adam Gase.
I feel like Adam Gase, honestly, and there's people in life that I feel like just do this. He's coasting off of like one good thing, which is like Peyton Manning saying.
I feel like he did it by accident.
Oh yeah, I don't even think he was like, Peyton, you gotta endorse me. I think Peyton Manning was like, yeah, he's okay, and Adam Gase is like, oh, I'm okay, all right, yeah, let me get that job. And
Two head coaching
jobs. Mind you, like I did kind of fall in love with him his first year in Miami, but
they did make the playoffs.
They made the playoffs.
They almost beat. I think it was the Steelers.
They didn't. No, they definitely didn't almost beat them, but that was the game. Matt Moore got concussed.
Oh yeah,
that. Oh my god, that hit was so funny. No, it wasn't funny, but like I'm sitting in my living room, and I had I think it was like in December, so I was cooking like something, and the where the Matt Moore hit happens on TV, and I hear the sound of him just getting walloped. And I thought I dropped something on the floor, and I was like, wait, what the hell is that? And he's like, oh no, Matt Moore's just dead.
Just dead on the
sideline.
Dang.
I think it went all downhill for him when Adam Gase, at least, when they had to pick up Jay Cutler off the streets.
Yeah.
Smoking Jay. My hero.
Everybody's hero. Everybody's hero. Him and his wife got divorced. I don't know if you saw that.
Adam Gase or Jay Cutler?
Jay Cutler. I think that was a little while ago. But yeah.
Wait, oh my god.
He told her to get a real job. I think that was the quote was along those lines.
Wow. Wow. Oh my god. Smoking Jay with those fire takes on his own wife.
Ex-wife.
Sorry, Jay Cutler. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, where do you project we're getting off topic with these, but where do you project the New England Patriots to be in like 10 years?
10 years?
10 years.
Shit, I don't know if I'll be here in 10 years. But Patriots.
You hope so.
10 years. I don't think Bill Belichick will be there.
Okay, Bill Belichick.
How old is he going to be? 70-something?
No, he'll be 80.
80? So he's already in his 70s?
Yeah, I think so.
I feel like he's late 60s.
No, you are right. Yeah, he'd be 78.
78? That's a tough question. I think they'll have a stable quarterback by that point. Hopefully, like you would hope so.
If you were gonna just guess.
I mean, I wouldn't hope so, but you would hope so.
I mean, I just think like the Patriots in 10 years could honestly be like, and I feel like the Spurs are gonna be this too, and I'm afraid of that too. And these great franchises that go on these like runs, especially you can see it with the Bulls. I feel like they're in like 10 years they could literally be like the 15th best team in the league. Like not just completely like low end of the league, Browns or Jacksonville, but I could see them being like just mediocre.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the worst feeling in the world, to just be mediocre.
It is.
Not get like a number 1 draft pick, but like also
the Falcons,
not make the playoffs.
The Falcons have like had the identical season like 4 years in a row now. It's like suck in the first half of the season, like 1-7, 2-6, and then play like good down the stretch when it doesn't even matter and just ruin draft position.
I'm a Buccaneers fan, by the way, right now. Huge fan of Tom Brady, my hero. But, we're hoping that the Falcons kind of just lay over and let us stab them these last few weeks of the season.
Be happy to.
Get some momentum going in the playoffs.
We might be able to make the playoffs. If we win today, and the Cardinals lose, one game out.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious, because the 7th spot, they added another spot to the playoffs.
Yeah, I know, but I can't believe actually that's true.
Yeah.
They're one game out of the playoffs.
And we should have won like 3 games. Dallas, Detroit, and Chicago. Should have won those 3 games.
Let's look at the NFL schedule for today. Then I just kind of I'm interested. Oh, they're playing the Saints though. That's why.
Yeah, at home though.
Yeah.
Actually, last Saints game, I lost money.
You did?
So I'm not betting this time. No.
Who was the last Saints game you lost money on?
The Falcon Saints game, the last time they played. So 2 weeks ago.
Jesus. There's a lot of fantasy implications at least today for the at least for me, because I think my opponent's starting Mitch Trubisky today in fantasy.
Bad move.
Which is kind of funny.
Move.
I'm actually not as afraid, but he's like so confident on Mitch Trubisky just going off today. I don't understand why.
I mean, maybe garbage time stats.
Who
are they playing? Detroit?
Yeah. Oh, actually, we're literally the Sunday slate's about to start, but just run through some of the lines with you. Chicago is favored by 3 against Detroit.
That's a tough one.
I think
I'd take Chicago.
Yeah,
I think
they're going to cover the spread.
I think they'll cover.
I think they'll cover the spread. I could see this being like Detroit just getting murdered.
Yeah,
for some
Detroit
reason.
just not caring. Like.
Yeah, that's what you're
But
afraid
you
of.
never know with Matt Stafford. He could have a good game.
Yeah, and also I think there's like a theory on like teams after they fire their head coach, like what they like. For some reason, they just do really well historically.
Yeah,
post-firing
the
coach.
Falcons. The week after,
Miami
I think it was Minnesota. We played and beat the crap out of them.
Oh yeah, it's so weird. I don't understand. I mean, just I guess because you're playing for pride at that point. But Miami's a 10-point favorite versus Cincinnati.
It is Fitzpatrick starting.
I don't know. I have you seen that situation? Because I haven't.
I've been loosely following
For
it.
some reason, Fitzpatrick keeps coming in for Tua, which is weird, but.
Yeah, I got it. Like, I understood it at the Broncos game. And then I think Tua was injured last week.
I think the best line of this Sunday slate, at least. Las Vegas favored by 7.5 points right now. I think they're going to just blow out the Jets. So, I would take them by, 14. Patriots, though, that line has been pretty steady this whole week. Patriots are only... last night I checked, it was 1.5, but right now it's -2 for Chargers.
Okay,
So
I would
by
take
2.
the Chargers. I do a CBS pick'em league, so you just go through each game, and I did take the Chargers this week because Herbert's
good.
Herbert's good. He's good.
I think he's better Sam Darnold. Wait, how old is Sam Darnold?
Good quarterback, bad haircut though for
Sam Darnold
for Justin Herbert.
Justin Pervert.
Justin Herbert. That's Big Ben.
Oh my god. Mind you, Big Ben, interesting character.
Yeah. Not an MVP this year.
Oh, okay. 10-0 though. His squad is 10-0.
Yeah. Actually, you were going to talk about that, right? The MVP.
What made? That was a topic question of ours. What makes an MVP? Like, what are the parameters for winning the MVP award in your sport?
That is a good question.
I think personally, I'd say the MVP is somebody who. I think there's just certain parameters you need to do. Number one, you need to be on a winning team. Your team can't be below 500 if you want to win the MVP. And more than likely, I need to see your team make the playoffs if you're the MVP. That's just if you're going to be valuable at all, the parameters for being valuable for me is making the playoffs. Second, I think it depends a lot on the personal ability of the player you're looking at. As much as people want to shit on players that win the MVP on a good team when they're surrounded by everything, I think the MVP should be based upon what you can do with what you're surrounded by. So if you're Patrick Mahomes right now, you have Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill, a good offensive line.
Good coaching.
You also have good coaching, 2 really good running backs in CEH and Le'Veon Bell. You better be putting that, and he is, and he's living up to the hype. Mm. Patrick Mahomes right now
consistently too. Very consistent throughout the season.
He's 30 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. That's what I should expect from somebody with those weapons around them.
Yeah, I'd say him and Rodgers are the front runners right now. I think Russ kind of, with all the turnovers, kind of put himself out of the conversation. But yeah, I'd say it's a 2-man race right now. Yeah, and I would like to see some consideration for Derrick Henry too.
Yeah, Rodgers also. Yeah, Derrick Henry, running back, should get some consideration. But if I'm just talking from a voting perspective, they're probably not going to get because running backs just don't win MVPs as often. I mean, he could. He's a dark horse candidate, but I don't think I could see him. I think there's also something to be said about storylines, like coming up clutch in big games. Like that's partly why I don't think like Brady should be in the conversation because this year he just hasn't been there in the big games and the storyline's kind of weird. But you could make a case that he's actually maybe the most valuable player in the league because of what he did to the franchise he's part of. Just like if you're considering valuable to be like not just on the field action.
But then also you think about they added a lot this offseason and their defense was already pretty solid last year.
Yeah, they were the number one rushing defense.
I mean, it took a 30 interception quarterback for them to be like, what were they last year? Probably like 6-10.
Yeah,
around there. So I don't think it's that drastic of a turnaround. They're gonna end up like 11-5 or 10-6.
I think Rodgers honestly like has a case for the MVP. I just think that for some reason the voters are gonna get. I think Mahomes is the front runner.
Yeah,
I think Mahomes is just he's so good this year. Like I just and like I said, he's got. I think the case here you're making it for Rodgers, and like I was saying earlier, I think I might, even though I think Mahomes is the front runner, I think I might take Rodgers for MVP. It's just what he's doing with the people around him. Just like who does aside from Devontae Adams, who do the Packers have? Marquez Valdez-Scantling. Like I mean, and I don't know. I mean,
Aaron Jones. They have good running backs.
They have good running backs. They have Aaron Jones,
Jamal
Williams. But I don't know. I think Mahomes.
I
just question what he would do with like the Patriots receiver core.
Or bad scheme, like bad coaching.
That's true. But I mean,
if we're talking Steelers though, I would talk about T.J. Watt before I talk about Ben Roethlisberger
for MVP. Yeah, I would too. I think Ben also has good receivers around him too.
Yeah,
and he's not putting up the numbers that Rodgers or Mahomes.
Yeah, not even close. And
yeah,
if you watch, and just by the eye test, just watching the Ravens game, it was ugly to watch that game specifically.
Oh yeah, I think they're the worst. I think they're the worst perfect team in NFL history right now.
Yeah,
I don't think they're gonna make it to 16-0. I think they, especially down the stretch, they got. Let's see who they have on their schedule coming up. They got the football teams. Washington football team, greatest franchise in NFL history. Don't at me. JK. So they got the football team, the Bills, the Bengals, the Colts, and the Browns.
Bills or Colts.
There's really only one game I can see them just completely steam barreling and winning the game outright.
Yeah.
It's the Bengals game.
Yeah.
Because rip Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
The Washington game.
Get well soon.
Yeah, Joe Burrow, get well soon. Bengals, what the hell are you doing? Get your franchise together. Don't ruin this kid's career, okay? Anyway, they're gonna lose. The Bengals are definitely gonna lose. The football team, they're gonna fight hard because they want to make that playoff spot. Bills, same thing. They want to. They're a playoff
Shout out
team.
Terry McLaurin.
Oh, Terry
and
McLaurin.
Stephon Diggs, my fantasy wide receivers.
Fantasy wide receivers this year. I've been rocking Jarvis Landry and
Jarvis Landry.
Actually, no. I did have Allen Robinson. He's been pretty good. But I don't think there's a team here they eke out an easy win. Football team's going to be hard. Bills are going to be hard. Colts are going to be trying to make the playoffs. Browns are going to be trying to make the playoffs. So these are all teams that I think are going to play them hard, and I just think one of them at least is going to get it done.
I'd say 14-2, because I think.
You think they're going to lose 2 games down the stretch?
Yeah, I think 1 or 2, definitely 1, for sure 1. But I think the Colts are much. Are they playing the Colts at home or?
They're playing the Colts at home.
The Bills.
They're playing the Bills away.
Okay, so they'll lose.
That
to
might
the Bills.
be that's Sunday Night Football too. That might be the game.
Yeah, they'll lose to the Bills, and I would say they'll lose to the Colts because defense travels, Chris. Defense travels.
Does travel. I will say that's the thing I'm most impressed with the Bucs. I'm hoping for the rest of this year is that their defensive run stoppability just continues to stay, because I feel like as the year goes on, people's arms get tired and everything, and I feel like passing attacks die down. Just historically, passing attacks die down later in the year, so I could see the Bucs their ability to use that run defense is just so good.
Yeah, got to take some air out of the footballs if you want to throw it in December.
Of course, Deflategate jokes. Ha 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 ha. Brady's the greatest quarterback. Actually,
That's true.
Approved. Brady's the greatest football player of all time. Better than Jerry Rice. Better than Lawrence Taylor. Better than.
I'll take LT because I like defense.
Better than
I'm excited
Deion
for
Sanders.
defense.
You can't tell me there's a player that you would rather want with the ball in their hands with 2 minutes left.
I mean, if the ball was in LT's hands, we'd be winning.
Yeah, well, let me throw the ball at LT.
Fumble.
Nah, here's the problem with defensive players. I just see, just don't run or pass towards them. There you go. You're out of the game. If LT is just blitzing all the time, you're passing. If he's not, if he's playing coverage for some reason, you run the ball. You just don't play towards them. That's how you beat defensive players. But with the quarterback, Brady, it's just you can't stop perfection. If he's the quarterback of the team, he's touching the ball as often as actually the most often out of anybody in the game. And I think his ability to I think Brady's arm underrated all time, by the way. He has a
underrated, but not the best.
No, he's no Brett Favre, but he's definitely in that tier below him. But he's just so methodical, and his drive to win the game is just. He's the greatest football player I've ever seen. Just his willingness to win. I think he did that. I think he proved to me. He proved to me he was the greatest football player when he just down 28-3, just brought back his team from those doldrums and just took him out. Kelly's a little salty because he's a Falcons fan, but he just wants some grapes. But no, I just think Tom Brady, greatest quarterback of all time. I don't think we're gonna see anyone else. I mean, I've been seeing recently that there are rumors of Patrick Mahomes maybe usurping Tom Brady as the greatest player of all time, but I don't know. Six rings is not something you just replicate in a season. So I don't know. We can see what happens, but I think he's gonna be good for a long time. But I don't see him usurping Tom Brady's stance as the greatest quarterback. Those are my hot sports takes, by the way.
I'm not on that one. I'm going to watch the Falcons lose.
Falcons aren't going to lose today. They're going to fucking cream Taysom Hill. That's what I'm afraid of.
Well, it didn't happen last time.
I would not mind 4 total touchdowns by Taysom Hill. 3 rushing, 1 passing, 336 yards. Some rushing yards, too. That'd make my day.
Well, thank you, Chris, for that sports stuff. So I just want to know, Chris, where are you from?
I'm from Methuen, Massachusetts. It's about 30 minutes, 20 minutes, 25 minutes north of Boston.
Yeah.
Pretty decent-sized town. We're adjacent to one of the poorest cities in Massachusetts, Warren,
Okay,
Massachusetts.
is that a suburb kind of?
Yeah, it's kind of.
You going to Lawrence a lot?
I mean, I went to high school in Lawrence. Repping Central Catholic Raiders. Love those guys back there. But yeah, I'm from Central Catholic.
Nice.
In Lawrence, Massachusetts. So.
Nice. You got to constantly be repping. Do you been a Pats fan for the?
I've been a Pats fan since I was born, mind you, because our dynasty started right as I was born. So I'm not saying I'm the reason why, but
yeah, as soon as Brady left, you were like, well, what do I do now?
I think I'm more of a Tom Brady fan than I am a New England Patriots fan.
New England
honestly.
Patriots.
Yeah.
So you believe in that? In that Tom Brady made the Patriots, not Belichick made Brady.
No, it's definitely
Chris, interesting thing going on right now. Jets are up 7 on the
Jets up 7.
Raiders.
Yeah, what are we 5 minutes into the game? Yeah.
5 minutes into the game.
Yeah, I am kind of afraid. Good thing I didn't start the Las Vegas Raiders defense this week. I'm starting the Bears against Detroit. Anyway, but if I was gonna give the ratio of Belichick to Brady, I think it'd be 60-40. I mean, I feel like Belichick did do a lot, but Brady he's on the field. He's a player. Players make teams. Coaches coach teams.
Especially someone like Brady who boosts the entire morale of the team. You know
I mean? I think that's his greatest ability. Not his brain, not his body. It's his leadership ability.
Yeah.
That spirit. It's when you're going to war, you have to want to die for your general if you're gonna be any good soldier.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Your General Michelle Obama, right?
My General Michelle Obama.
Melania Trump.
And Melania Trump. First
And Barron.
Lieutenant.
Get Barron in there, too. Throw him in. Toss him in the crowd.
And Sasha.
Sasha, Barron and Sasha, dynamic duo.
Star-crossed lover.
Star-crossed
Oh my
lovers.
God.
It's a tragedy.
That's like...
I think there's a bit of an age gap there, though.
Is there? How old?
Just a little, just a little.
Wait.
I know,
Sasha's our
in
age.
college.
Baron Trump.
Yeah.
Barron's freshman maybe?
Oh no, no. Stop.
Hey, love has no age.
Oh, Baron
Love
Trump's...
has no age. Someone like Barron, though, he can pass.
Wait, doesn't Obama have a younger sister, a younger daughter now?
Yes. Yeah. So no, Sasha's the younger.
yeah.
Oh, Sasha's the youngest one.
Obama's daughter.
Yeah. So yeah,
Yeah.
Sasha's 18, 19, 18.
Oh yeah, there's Malia. There's Malia and
1 year older
Sasha.
than, so 19. She might be 19.
Sasha's 19 years old.
They smoke weed
Barron's
too. Do you know
14. Oh yeah, how do
What's wrong
you,
with that?
Kelly? How do you feel about Bronny James smoking a
that?
blunt?
Bronny James.
While his,
Let him do it, dude.
Dude,
Let him do it.
Have you seen
I
all
think
the-
he realized the pressure. There's a lot of pressure
LeBron
on
beat
him.
that ass when he came home.
Oh my God,
Oh,
have you
yeah.
seen the?
With the championship trophy.
I saw a TikTok the other day about like it was like a guy pulling out the belt and it was like LeBron James when he comes home with Bronny.
No.
And there's like AD with the, and it was another guy with the belt and it's like AD with the belt helping LeBron.
Oh no. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, not Bronny James. Baron Trump, like, I don't know, he looks
Get him on the
so.
court.
Get him on the podcast.
I know he's super tall.
Yeah, he's always 6
Yeah,
foot.
Trump's
without a
like
doubt.
6'3" though, isn't he? He's like
Tall man, dude. Good genes.
Trump's literally like a lumbering tower. Like
Yeah.
if
Just a
Trump
massive
if Trump was a building,
of man.
how much do you think? How much does Trump weigh? He's got to be heavy, like real heavy.
Well, he fudged his numbers, right? To say he wasn't obese or
Barron's
something.
taller than Donald.
Or overweight.
Barron's a big boy. Dude, he's.
Give me the stats. Give me the
Wait,
stats.
how tall is Baron Trump?
I'm trying to get the exact.
Baron Trump height.
Exactly. I don't know. His numbers might be fake too. He is a tall kid though.
Dude, he's taller than his parents. Like
Definitely.
by, like,
Trump's 6'3".
Definitely
Trump's
taller.
6'3".
Over 6'3". Well, I mean, he lied about his height for a little bit. So he did. So he. It says he was overweight, not obese. Remember that?
So Trump, there's some like rumors about Trump's height. So that yeah, of course that he lied about it maybe, but
Yeah.
so it says like at the lowest he's like 6 foot. So Barron is 6'1" at the least.
Oh my.
So
he's like
6'1".
And he's
At
14.
least
I think
6'1".
he's like 6'4".
He's still got. Yeah, as long as he
6'4",
keeps drinking his
6'5".
milk, you know what I mean.
Dude, Trump is
He'll be a big boy.
6'3", 240 pounds. That is a
6'3", 240.
that is a tank.
Did you play football?
Dude, Trump would 100% be the
He
fullback
definitely
on the
could.
team.
He was a big
just take it up the
WWE guy, right? He was big in that.
Yeah, he's friends
Big-
with what's his
McMahon.
McMahon.
Yeah.
McMahon, yeah.
I feel like that rip XFL, by the way. I feel like it was gonna be a decent
Yeah.
league until
Okay. So according to one internet height predictor, Barron could be 6'7".
Barron
could be 6'7".
6'7".
At, like currently, as like how old is he? 15, 14?
14, 15?
Here's
Freshman in high school?
get him on the team.
Yeah.
Here's my
Oh my gosh.
fantasy basketball franchise for the next like future generation. Starting point guard LaMelo Ball, or actually no, we got Lonzo, LaMelo, Baron Trump, and Bronny James Jr. on the same team, and the Cash Me Outside girl.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
And the Cash Me Outside girl at center.
Yeah, bring him professionally. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
did you always see the female kicker from what? That sounded really
Nah.
bad. The female kicker on Vanderbilt.
Mhm. I saw it.
That was interesting. Also,
Oh,
but
really?
Good.
they get
That's good.
progressive. It was very
Hey, we
progressive.
respect women, and we believe that women should build other women up.
Did you see?
So
it?
we're
Men
building,
should
and men should also build women up respectfully. Respectfully.
She squibbed it though. Dude, she should have just kicked it off.
I know. I want to see some.
Kicked it,
I wanna see
tackled her.
Because I saw a video of her soccer. Obviously, it's not the same, but she played goalie for Vanderbilt. She
Played
kicked
goalie.
it from like she had to be like like near her goal, like not too close, but like on that side of the field, and she kicked it into the other box.
Oh my God! Kicked it from the other end of the field.
Yeah, she's got a boot.
I don't know if she could
Yeah.
I just wanted to see her tackle somebody, like just nail a football player in the head.
But if you're the first person to do anything, like props to you. Like,
Yeah, like if you're like first person to land on the moon, how awesome would that be?
Yeah.
Like,
To land on the moon.
yeah, no man.
That would be pretty awesome.
First person in space was Russian, Chris.
It was Russian.
First thing in space wasn't it Sputnik? If I was not mistaken.
First spacecraft?
I think so.
I believe so.
So Ted, you're I know you're not a huge fan of it, but comics.
I mean, I dabble.
You dabble in
I
comics?
do dabble. I'm into manga too. I've been getting into manga.
Have you seen this? Like not manga, but it's like a comic book. It's called Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Scott, dude, the movie with Michael.
Oh, have you seen with Michael Cera?
Was
and,
beautiful.
Oh my God! Wait.
And the game too. I went hard on that game, dude. That side-scrolling beat up.
I love Scott Pilgrim. Oh my God!
Man,
It's so
it was my
good.
favorite movie for so long.
Michael Cera.
Michael Cera.
And my celebrity crush, Mary Elizabeth Winstead. Oh my God!
Such a good movie because it appeals to a certain taste, a certain humor, and I think it just hits every single.
Have you read the comic?
I have not read the comic. I had friends who I would ask to borrow the comic from, but they did not let me because it was so precious.
I'll tell you, I've read the comic, I've seen the movie, I've played the game. It's one of my favorite franchises.
A great franchise.
It's
yeah.
it's just interesting.
I wish they made more movies. You know what I mean with the other books.
Yeah, but they got all the books in like that one movie. They'd have to.
Yeah.
It was like one. I love Scott Pilgrim. It's a great franchise. It's an interesting story, and honestly, like for high schoolers at least, I know like I read it in high school, and it really kind of helped me with like some like bad times. I don't know why, but I really enjoyed Scott Pilgrim. So if anyone out there gets to read it or even watch the movie, it's one of the best.
Yeah. I get so attached to that film. It's so wonderful, dude.
Favorite scene?
It's like well, I mean the whole thing is like you're in he's in a video game.
Yeah, his life's
basically his life's a video game, which is amazing. That's awesome. Favorite scene?
Yeah, favorite scene.
That's tough, man. That's tough. I would say oh my gosh, what is my favorite scene? I would say the roommate.
Oh yeah, Wallace.
Whenever he's with Wallace, it's just so funny. When he opens the door and I think it's Knives. It's like, is Scott home? And then Scott
and he jumps through the
window.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, he just left.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of the first fight with the evil axe. The first one.
Yes,
the one that looks like a pirate.
He looks like a pirate.
Yeah, that's pretty
weird goth, dude.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. That's a pretty funny scene. I also like the.
He says bus change. Oh, I can pay for the bus now.
Oh yeah. Oh, because he gets the coins.
Yeah.
That scene and I'm a big fan of when he first meets Ramona, not in the dream, when at the party.
At the party.
And he talks about Puckman.
Puckman.
It's pretty. It's such a brilliant movie.
Yeah, brilliant.
I mean, if you like, do you have any favorite movie? I know my favorite movie.
I like the Hobbit franchise.
Okay.
That's so Lord of the Rings
Lord of
in
the
general. Amazing.
Speaking of the movies, though, so like with the coronavirus, like a lot of major companies like going straight to streaming. Like, will this be the
streaming?
death of the?
Oh, is this the death of the movie theater?
That's a big topic.
No, I don't think it's death of the movie theater. I mean, I think movie theaters should be, and they are, an ingrained part of Western society.
Yeah.
And I mean, of course, the movie industry is going to be taking a hit right now, but at least the point we're talking right now. COVID vaccine is in the works. It's actually been
early summer.
Yeah, I've heard. Actually, the UK has already issued it for emergency services,
right.
And I think
the people who need
in the United States we're looking at, I believe April, May. So if we could get a vaccine by April, May, I mean that would be so hype. I mean, like we could that just America would be ready for the summer, which is what I think everyone's afraid of. But.
Right, and I think also with the movies, it's just such a unique experience. You know, you have the large screen, the fantastic, like the audio that you can just feel, And the food, obviously. The food. I mean, that's what carries the entire movie
Close to
experience.
movie theater popcorn is Target popcorn.
Target popcorn.
You've had Target popcorn?
When they remember when they, I don't know. Well, they stopped at my old Target, but at the Target in my town. But they used to sell popcorn. They had a popcorn machine. You can just get popcorn.
Never heard that before.
He's more of a JCPenney.
Oh, JCPenney.
JCPenney.
That's right. I forgot.
They don't have popcorn.
Yeah, we don't
No
have
popcorn
popcorn.
at yeah.
All we got are angry customers and people wanting dealers. But no, I mean, to what you said, Kelly, I think like movie industry, it's gonna rebound soon.
Definitely.
And
And
I think the movie industry was already on a kind of downward trend, but I think there's a lot of things that the movie industry needs to do to rejuvenate itself.
And I think that some movies work. They only work in movie theaters, and if you stream it, it just ruins the entire thing.
Did you see
It is an
Did you
experience.
see Dunkirk a few years ago?
I haven't. No. No.
Dunkirk was one of those movies you needed to see in theaters.
Yeah.
If you saw it, like, I mean, it was a serviceable movie.
Yeah.
Most Christopher Nolan movies, like, it's made specifically for IMAX. Like, if they're shooting on IMAX, they want you to see it.
Oh
in
my God.
IMAX.
And IMAX.
What is
Right.
this? Christopher Nolan does it just bugs me when I watch his movies sometimes. He does like different aspect ratios.
Yeah.
So like if you ever like pay attention to the black boxes in Christopher Nolan movies, it's so annoying because like there will be one like scene shot in IMAX and then like one scene condensed and it's like, oh my God, it's terrible.
And the audio in his, like, past couple movies has been absolutely garbage.
Oh really?
Yeah.
If you, like, especially if you see it in IMAX. So I saw his new movie Tenet. I saw it in
Tenet, right.
IMAX and I saw it in digital. And like the audio in IMAX was terrible.
Really?
When I saw it in digital, it was much better.
Digital was good. Yeah.
But the aspect ratio thing really triggers me. And but I mean, like I like most of his movies. I mean, I'm a big fan, at least of comic book movies. The Dark Knight was like
Dark Knight.
one of the best ones.
Oh my gosh.
I'm a bit. I think at least for comic book movies, my favorite is Spider-Man 2.
The original Spider-Man 2?
Yeah, with Tobey Maguire.
That was great.
I love that movie.
Is that Doc Ock?
Yeah, that's Doc Ock.
Yes. Oh my God. I would re-watch that. So
I
many
just
times.
like the internal struggle of that movie. Him getting like just beaten down by life and then like
Right.
quitting and then like having to come back. Like,
Yeah.
that's such an eternal thing.
Great fight scenes too.
Oh yeah, no, the
Fantastic.
train scene still holds up today.
Everything.
But
So good.
I that movie, like I remember seeing it when I was like really young, like 3 years old, and like I still watch it nowadays.
Wow.
So it's like it's one of those movies like I watch like once in a while.
Yeah, once in a while.
The Incredibles.
The
Yeah.
Incredibles. Yeah, that's a good one.
I have an odd like movie that I'm really a fan of. It's the 2015 Steve Jobs movie.
Oh, that was really
It's
good.
it's
I haven't
interesting.
seen that one.
It's written by the same guy who wrote The Social Network.
Okay, yeah.
Great as well.
I forget who
Social
wrote
Network.
that.
I'll look at it.
It was written by Aaron Sorkin.
Nice.
Yes, screenplay was by Aaron Sorkin. David Fincher was the director, but it just.
Seth Rogen was the perfect Steve Wozniak.
Oh yeah, Seth Rogen. Yeah, Seth Rogen movies are just great.
Yeah.
Have you seen Sausage Party?
No, I haven't.
Sausage Party. Oh my God, that's a laugh
I
riot.
watched
Yeah.
a Seth Rogen movie the other day. It was, what was it called? Knocked Up. And that was
Knocked Up.
2007. That
Wow.
was a good one.
No, what was the one where it's him, James Franco, and they're like.
The Interview.
No, yeah, well, that's a good
Oh
one.
what was
That's a
the
good
one where the
but
world was ending?
The world was ending. That's what I was going to talk about. This is the end.
This is the end.
This
oh,
is the
that
end.
was
That
a
was
pretty
a good
funny
one.
movie.
That was a good one.
Seth
Oh my
Rogen
God.
only 5'11", by the way.
5'11",
Nothing
yeah.
compared to our
Stand
boy
back.
Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Baron.
Baron.
Yeah, dude. A child compared to Bear.
Dude, yeah, but if Baron's bigger than Sasha, it's not gonna matter. 5
That's
years.
true, he is bigger than
5
Sasha.
years also, mind you, as like younger people,
5
5
years.
years seems like a long time, but like when they're older,
Yeah, my parents are probably.
or you guys like,
Yeah,
do you guys follow the?
my dad and his girlfriend are over a decade apart.
Do you follow the half your age plus 7 rule?
half your age plus 7? I mean,
Leonardo DiCaprio does not follow that rule.
Really? Why?
oh, who is he?
Wait. What?
How old is his?
How old's his wife?
Good question.
I don't think he has a wife, but a
I
lot
think
of
he's, yeah, I think of girlfriends.
Oh my!
I do remember hearing a
God.
lot of
Yeah.
reading. a lot of
Leonardo
articles.
DiCaprio has been dating since 2017. His wife's 22.
Yeah.
How old is Leonardo
I mean, yeah.
DiCaprio?
Oh, you heard about Brad Pitt? How Brad Pitt's new girlfriend? Brad Pitt is the side piece to his new girlfriend, and his girlfriend's dating like a really old man.
No, he's 46 and he's dating a 22-year-old.
Yeah.
Who is that? Leonardo?
But that's been his whole career.
I mean,
But, I mean,
if he can get it, I mean, get it. You know what I mean? He earned it. You know what I mean?
I mean,
Wait.
No, but
as long as it's legal.
Brad Pitt. Look up the age of Brad Pitt's.
Yeah, he's dating Angelina Jolie. That's why. Yeah, that's why.
Who?
Angelina Jolie.
Isn't that an old thing?
No, that's an old thing.
That
They
was-
they divorced.
Oh, they divorced. Oh,
They divorced.
Wait, Brad Pitt's girlfriend?
Brad Pitt's new girlfriend. Yeah, he is the side piece. She's dating like an old man.
Alright, Nicole Poturowski.
Yeah, a Russian.
She's 27.
She's nice though.
She's 27.
She's
27
nice.
is okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
No, but she's dating an older man.
Yeah, that's the more
She's
interesting
married.
part.
Is she married to an older man? They're in an open relationship. I know that. And Brad Pitt is the
Yeah,
side piece.
She's married.
No, the half
And
your
he's
age plus
even
7 rule
wrong.
is like I
You
vibe
abide
with,
by that?
I vibe with the half your age plus 7 rule.
Yeah.
'Cause, like-
60-year-old husband.
Yeah, like think about it. So like you're 18.
So if you're if you're 60,
18.
you can date a 37-year-old.
What?
If you're 60, you can date a 37.
Oh yeah, if you're 60. Yeah, but like
If you're 80, you can date a 47-year-old.
it gets a little skewed once you get older. But like when you're like actually looking for somebody, it worked out because
Yeah.
like
So if you're 18,
18 you can date a 6-year-old.
a 16-year-old.
Yeah, I feel like
Yeah,
that's like the borderline
That's
of
borderline.
like
That's borderline.
creepy.
I mean,
Like,
that's what many states follow.
I mean, if you're like a senior in high school, I could see you dating like a really young
A sophomore?
or
I
really
mean,
old
yeah.
sophomore. or
I mean,
really
I had
young
a
junior.
I had a friend who
Yeah, I
dated
would
a
think
freshman.
that's weird.
It's only 2
As
years.
it is a no. I will say it's a little weird. Like we'll
In
tease
high
my
school,
friend.
3 years, I'd say like I wouldn't do.
3 years.
No,
ago.
yeah, 3
Yeah,
in high
for,
school.
like
it's
senior,
a-
freshman.
Oh,
I mean,
dude, if you're senior dating a freshman, it's kind of weird.
yeah, I had some friends who did that, and I'm like,
Oh,
man, come on.
god,
Dude.
damn, that's.
But I mean, we teased them, but
That's an extra.
but like once you get older, like so if you're 30, you can date a 22-year-old.
yeah,
Like that makes sense.
if you're 30, you can date a 22-year-old.
It makes sense, like, as in I'm fine with it. It doesn't really make sense, like, I don't know, very different stages in life, but like different folks, different strokes.
Different strokes for different folks.
But I feel like that's like what I mean. Like it's a borderline. Like you
Yeah,
can't like go before like.
Like,
If you're
I
dating a
have
20-year
question, but I don't care that much.
I feel like if you're
Yeah.
a full decade older, it's like.
To each their own. You know, some people have different. It goes back to these different neurons in your brain. How people think differently, and that's kind of the foot neuron. It's so close to your pleasure neuron. That's how people get foot fetishes. Is they cross, or they're just so close.
Feet are definitely by far the most like disgusting section or organ like on the like or not organ.
Well,
but, like,
I mean, for
thing
different
to be turned
people,
on.
think it's the opposite. You know, if these like if I saw a nice foot, you know, scientifically speaking, I mean, yeah.
I don't think I want to be in a room with you and feet anymore.
No, some people. No, I mean, there's gross feet, obviously, but some people, you know, they have nice feet.
Cut it out. Cut the conversation.
You know, honestly, I feel like a podcast with like no cuts is interesting.
With no cut. Oh my god, dude, that'd be anarchy. Yeah.
You have any more topics, Ted?
Yeah, definitely.
I got some too.
I saw Christopher Prez on there.
Christopher Prez.
Oh, Christopher
Chris,
Prez
now
is
you're a
good.
political science major.
Yes, sir.
You can talk about why you chose that, but I just want to talk about how involved you are.
Oh,
You're
with our
in
political
student.
with our political
You're
system.
in Asian. What? Tell me.
I'm a Korean American
You're,
citizen.
You're a Korean American citizen. You were adopted
Yep.
from Korea. Now you
4 months
can't actually be president with
Yes.
with the current.
With the current laws of the United
Laws
States,
of
I
the
can't be
United States.
president. Yeah, it
Ooh.
sucks. It does suck.
I mean, what we need is an Asian in office.
Andrew Yang. Yang.
Andrew
Yang,
Yang.
gang.
Yang, gang.
Yang gang.
Yeah, I mean, like it's always been a dream of mine. Like it's always been like in the gutter dream though. Like never like ever materialized yet. But I mean, if the opportunity arose, like 100%. But
What would you say made you want to go into politics?
oh, politics. I mean, like
When
well,
did it
right
start?
now I'm a political science major. I'm planning on going to law school too. But I mean, like at least in the recent years, it's just like political polarization is definitely is definitely a big
That's a
reason
big
why.
one.
I mean, it's just like I walk outside and like so I have friends and family and I love them dear. But like I walk outside and listen to like some of their political comments and it's just like man, you're just really uneducated, or I don't understand why people are pushing these like certain agendas on like people like that. And like I'm listening to people that I know are smart and logical say some of the craziest things, and I'm like, I think that's what's wrong with America. It's just like our society has become so like divisive. Like things that were not political have become political, and I think like at least with in a post 2020 world, I think things might become less polarized, but I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, we hope. We always hope. I mean, but you still have these young politicians that are being manipulated sometimes, or just having their own agenda, and it's just pushing for this one kind of like alt left, alt right. You know what I mean?
And I think that's something the media pushes, though. I don't think it's
the media.
I don't think every normal person on the street is like looking to become some like communist like rebellion type of person, or like everyone on the street is this like white supremacist Nazi like fascist. You know what I mean?
Depends what streets you're walking.
It depends what streets.
Yeah, no street in Alabama.
But these large companies like Twitter definitely has a political stance. I would say they lean Democratic because they'll take down anything that is too obscure, too right.
Well, I'll say this. So I'm a centrist. So I'm somebody that doesn't subscribe to a certain hard like stance, or like not even hard stance, but any just like predetermined political ideology. Mm-hmm. Like some like basically like conservatives will believe like certain things because that's what they believe in. But like for me, it's like I don't believe in anything. Like I don't believe in like having a. I don't believe in believing.
I don't believe in anything.
No, I don't believe in
like. President.
I don't believe in like conforming to one ideology and then making all your decisions based upon that. I think like looking at individual stuff and like getting down to the nitty gritty and making like your own individual decisions based upon the issues is like how you should run a nation. Anyway, yes. But no, I think it's like the media. I think the media, especially, and I think it's different because we live in a Trumpian era. If anyone understands what that means,
era.
Like it's just we don't have
It's going to be there.
I mean, I think it will be, but the history will definitely look at
the era of Trump.
They'll definitely look at that era from 2016 to 2020 and maybe beyond as like a Trumpian era. Yeah. But I think it's because like, so like if anybody remembers, I mean, our viewers might be too young to remember this because like it's something that intrigues me, so I look back on it, but like not personally, but just through history. Yeah. But like pre-2016, like we lived in this like bubble where there was Democrats and Republicans, and of course they disagreed with things. Yeah. But it was never as divisive as it was now. I mean, it was kind of getting there with Senate Republicans and Obama. But I will say the Bush years, the Clinton years, and mainly like that 2008 to 2012, like those Obama years, like the nation, as divided as it was between certain issues, was never like outright against each other. Yeah. And I think like, at least with the rise of Trump in personal politics, I think Trump like instills personal politics into our like system. But I think especially with and there's one point in American history where I can say like I think this is where everything got worse, especially like where how we talk to each other politically and how we discuss our like ideologies. I think like Hillary Clinton saying that like Trump supporters were deplorable. I think that's like a moment in history where we can look back and say, before that, everyone we respected each other's political ideologies. If you were a Trump supporter, you were a little crazy, but, we understood, like, certain things about you. But then, like, once Hillary says that, it opens up the floodgates for people to just go savage on each other. And I think, like, once a major political candidate calls the other side deplorable, and the other candidate's already doing that, you instill like a directive in the American mind that
like a divide.
You've basically said, it's okay, it's open season to go crazy on these people. Because like the stance before was like, we're gonna take the higher ground. We're not gonna be these Trumps. We're not going to be like a lot of Trump supporters and be savages. But
Yeah.
then like once Hillary does that, she just opens up the floodgates for people to be just as divisive as the other side is already.
Right, and that's kind of what polarizes people, as people start taking sides, like, oh, I'm just going to attack him, I'm going to attack them, and it kind of makes this kind of divide, and people are starting, I see more in modern day, like people are starting to do like fake woke, where they'll be like woke about everything, they'll be woke, especially more on the Democratic side, they'll be woke, and they'll just kind of like try to put themselves in this kind of situation where it is the right thing to do, but it's also not the right thing to do. So we got to think about, like, no, continue. What were you saying?
No, there's something to be said about being like, and I think like PC is not the right word for this, and I think it's more broad than just speech, but like, there's something to be said about being too like PC or like woke, but like there's also something to be said like understanding other people's personal beliefs and how they feel about each other. Like, especially we were talking about like the LGBTQ community earlier. Like people need to understand that's another section of society. As much like it's just as important as like different races.
Right.
But when you get to the point where you're attacking part of society because it doesn't like agree to your agenda, and then making them out to seem like immoral because of that. I think that's where like a lot of politics has just changed. It's no longer if we don't agree on something, it's not that we just came from different backgrounds and came to different conclusions. Mm-hmm. It's that you are you are immoral for believing what you believe. Yeah. And I don't see that as right. Like somebody like, I think the biggest problem with this is like, at least like border policy and immigration policies. Like I'm somebody who believes that like many American immigrants come into this country like looking for like a good life, but like you need to do it legally. And I understand, and I think like the biggest problem in America, and when I say that, the first thing people jump to is like, oh, since you want them to come legally, you want them to come through a harder way. You're anti-illegal, you're anti-immigrant. No, yeah. And what I say to them is, no, I'm not anti-immigrant. I believe they should come in legally. And if they have such a problem like coming in legally, then there's a problem with the system.
Right.
But but we live in this like Trumpian era where like politics are personal. Mm-hmm. You make a comment like I did the first way, you're viewed as this like fascist, like white supremacist. And it's like, and I don't think politics should be like that. It's like, if you make a stance like that first stance, like, I believe that immigrants should come in legally, and that like immigrants should come in legally. That stance shouldn't be like labeled as immoral. Like that's just something. And you might say like you may make like a stance otherwise, like, oh, immigration, no matter how it comes in, is a good thing. Like, and you make that stance, and we might disagree, but like at least we're making two different stances, and we both understand the pros and cons of what we're saying.
Right.
But like I said, and it's another thing, like abortion. Like I'm pro-choice. Like I would say that like the way I view abortion, it's like a lot like social care and other things that the government does and like that doctors do and stuff that's like open to the public. Mm-hmm. I think it's something that should be a public option, but I also believe that you shouldn't overdo it. Like abortion should be something that needs to be taken seriously, and you need to think about it before you make a decision. But I'm not going to deny people their rights. But I understand there are people that are like, listen. Like,
there are people out there that just like raw dogging it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like,
and they.
There are people that like I think that like would be like, look, like abortion from my perspective, based on my religion, it's just immoral, right? And it's wrong.
No, I get that. Like if you go down to the South, it's like abortion is such a serious topic. Some states, you can't get an abortion in some states.
People on an individual level can live by that, but like separation of church and state.
Separation of church and state. It's like,
you're right. Yeah. That's the thing. It's like the United States government shouldn't be taking a stance on people based on like religious belief. You know what I mean? They should that's why we have Lebanon and stuff like that. Yeah. But like with abortion, like I said, it's like it should be there, but you shouldn't just abuse it. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I like people, and I'm not saying abuse it like like go get an abortion like 300 times. They're just saying like you got to like understand when you're having an abortion like what you're doing
It's a
before
serious
you actually
thing.
do
And
it.
I think a lot of people do understand that it is a serious thing. A lot of people have trauma from abortions. A lot of people get
and I think
negativity. I mean,
Yeah, when
you
I
know,
was aborted,
no, I think the media like portrays it as like this like I said, this like black and white issue. It's like if you're having an abortion, like if you're a Republican or like if you're listening to Republican media stations, if you're having an abortion, you're doing it for an immoral reason. But if you're listening to a Democratic station, it's like if you are against abortion,
you're doing it for the
you're doing it
movement
for
almost.
you're a jackass. If you're against abortion, you're a jackass. But it shouldn't be like that. Like you should like if somebody's against abortion, you need to like understand why they are against abortion. It could be a religious reason, it could be something else, and you need to respect that. But at the same time, if you're somebody who is against abortion and you're talking to somebody who is maybe looking to get one, you need to understand why they're getting an abortion too. Like they could have like they could be medical complications, it could just be financial complications, and you need to understand that. Like, and as somebody, and I'm adopted too, but like, and like, thank God, I thank God for not being aborted and everything, but like. I understand that people might have a hard time with adoption, and that's why they choose to, have an abortion. Right. And like I think that's like, and like I said, it all comes down to like individuality and like individual circumstances. Like you shouldn't look at like issues like that as hard. Like you not have to have a hard stance. You need to look at everyone's individual like system, like their individual circumstances, and make a decision based upon that. Not just like painting everybody with a certain like paintbrush, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think it's serious for both sides too. Like having a baby is super serious. Like you got to know that you can take care of it and it can have a happy life. You don't want to just have a baby and be unprepared, or because it might not grow up right. It might not. It'll grow up, with mental disorders, or it'll grow up without proper health care. It just depends on the situation. So having a baby is really tough, but also. It's serious either way. Say you're in like a state that doesn't allow abortion. You know what I mean? And you are pregnant.
Every state allows abortions, but it depends on the
where it's like looked down upon.
Yeah,
where it's looked down upon.
So
you won't get support from your family if you get an abortion, but also, you might be in a situation where you won't get support even if you have the baby. So you got to think like it's a serious thing regardless, and I think that. Having that option where you can like either choice might not be that great, but having the option to choose the better choice, say you're in one of those states, you don't have the necessary materials or anything that could help raise the child, but you'll get shamed if you have an abortion. So I mean, it really depends on your situation, but I do think having that option is the biggest thing, and obviously we respect women's choice. I'm a pro-choicer.
Yeah, I think America, like in America, there's a lot of things that I think should just be options. People just think like the option to do anything is like wrong. Like if you have the option to like go to war, you're like a war hawk. If you have the option to have an abortion, then you're like this pro-choice like crazy person. Like you know what I mean? Like these like things. Like that America does, they have them available for certain reasons. You shouldn't just like freak out just because they have them available. It's a lot like I used to say like abortion is a lot like nuclear weapons. Like they should always be on the table, but you should never be looking to abuse them. You know what I mean? Like it's that kind of like mantra. Like I know that's an odd metaphor, but
that's pretty intense.
That's an odd metaphor, but like that's always how I thought of it.
Yeah,
and that's like I said, like that's why personally I think I'd be a good president because I don't look at like issues. Like with a like huge paintbrush and everything's black and white to me. I look at them like as a lot of gray. Like there's a lot of individual circumstances you gotta like look at and make decisions based upon that.
Right. Nothing is black and white. No topic in the world is black and white. There's always different circumstances with everybody. Everybody has a different.
I think there's a lot of people in the media and a lot of powerful people that would like us to be black and white because then we're controllable. Because
then you can just pick a side and then they can take over the side. You know what I mean?
Because you say one thing and everyone agrees. You know what I mean? It's like, and I think that's what's wrong with America is that there are people up there that are like profiting off of like people being polarized.
Yeah, I'm actually
CNN, Fox News.
Well, Fox
actually profiting off everything.
Yeah, actually, I would actually or rather a monarch. I'm ready for a monarch.
A monarch, yeah.
That's when we can fully get rid of the polarization. We'll all be under one roof. We need a monarchy. Chris, you should be king.
Do you want me to be king?
You'll be king.
King Chris?
King of the Americas.
What's the have you seen that show? Have you seen that show Roseanne?
Roseanne. Oh yeah. She got in trouble.
Roseanne.
She got in trouble.
Oh, she got in trouble. Yeah, she got in trouble. But
What's the trouble two times?
What's the name of that movie with the Roseanne actor? It's the it's the dad from Roseanne, and he's king.
I don't know.
Oh my god.
I know who you're talking about.
John Goodman.
Yeah, John Goodman is in all that.
What was the movie he was in? It was really funny. John Goodman.
I'll look it up.
He was like a king in the movie. He was a descendant from King Ralph. American comedy.
That's what it's called, King Ralph?
Yeah.
Was it a series or a movie?
It was a movie.
It was a movie? Yeah.
The film's about an American who becomes unlikely king of the United Kingdom after an electrical accident wipes out the British royal family.
Oh my
Is that going to happen to
gosh.
me? We're going to have the American monarchy and then...
The American monarchy. We accidentally have you as king.
I mean, I think I could be a good king.
Yeah, well, there you go. Yeah, I mean, you were telling... So what are your, like, COVID? We can go into COVID now.
Oh, if I
What
was
are your
going to... COVID regulations?
guidelines,
Especially...
yeah. If you become king within the next...
What would I do with COVID?
Week.
So personally, I think vaccine is the most important thing. Like right now, we need to get that vaccine like ready and out. And I mean, like it's gonna take time. So like I understand, but like my full force is gonna be on getting that vaccine out. And I mean, like I know people are nervous about a vaccine, but like I trust the scientists and everything. They'll get it done. And
Yeah.
I mean, like if they need more time, they need more time. But like I would stress to them to do your job right. But just do it at the pace, like at a quicker pace. Like,
And
just
you're gonna
understand that, like, we need how important this is.
And when like people are talking about like don't trust the vaccine.
don't trust
like,
the vaccine, right? Yeah.
They're,
Are you
they're
gonna-
not gonna make a profit if they have a shitty vaccine.
No, I know
Right,
that.
right,
It-
obviously,
It's
yeah.
sued up their ass.
If you don't have a
No,
good
people are just
vaccine,
people.
yeah,
No, there are
that
crazy
will
people that
fucking-
believe that it's not the vaccine's not gonna like cause autism. It's gonna like give you the mind control
So
powers.
you call
of the
the mind
government.
control.
No, you're right.
I
like-
can't wait, dude. Sign me up.
But
No, you're taking the vaccine.
Oh yeah, I'm
When-
gonna
when
take
it
the
comes
vaccine.
out.
Literally, I might be like, if the day I figure out when Walgreens has it, I'm literally
When
gonna be the
Walgreens
first.
has
I
it.
might.
Walgreens?
I mean, like be the first one. No.
Not CVS.
Do you see maybe like a check with your vaccine, like they'd pay you?
They're paying
What?
you to get a vaccine?
I'll take
Why would
a
I-
check.
No, would
to
you
take a
trust
vaccine.
that though? Would you trust it?
Yeah.
We paid him though. We paid
No,
him.
but like if they're paying you because
As a
they're
college
afraid of
student.
anti-vaxxers.
As a college student,
Um,
yeah, bro, so you have to give me that mind control power.
But no, if I was here's my thing about COVID. It's like, don't go to parties. Stop stop going to parties. Listen,
respect your school's rules.
yeah, respect your
Chris,
school.
tell us the story.
Oh God, respect your school rules if they're like logical. Like
Yes.
stuff like okay, if you have big inside spaces, then like of course you can have more than like six
Right.
people there.
Right.
But like if you're in a cramped room, like just understand, like,
Or
don't
an
go.
elevator.
Yeah, or an elevator.
Yeah.
Fucking elevators. Jesus.
The elevator. Whoa, the elevators, dude.
Elevators. 3 people in an elevator. I'm
I
like,
mean, that is the most likely place where.
yeah, but then
you can
you
get
only
it.
have 3 people in your like huge room. That makes
Right.
no sense. You can't have
Right.
3 people. But like, just follow the rules, people. Wear your mask.
the
Don't be a
rules.
crazy person. If you're going to a restaurant, like, I don't know who the hell is going to restaurants. I mean, I've gone to a restaurant
Yeah.
recently.
I
but,
mean,
like,
wear your mask. Wear your mask if you're
Wear
going
your
to a restaurant.
mask
You can
and
eat. You can
do
eat
your
out.
job.
But
Like,
you
I
can
feel like if
wear your
everyone-
mask, respect other people.
if everyone did their
Yeah.
job,
Eat outside.
if everyone
Yeah.
did their job and just like wore their masks, social distance, like don't go to parties,
Yeah.
just if you have a core group of friends, like only see them like once in a great while. I feel like everyone would be fine. I think
I'm
it's
pretty
just-
sure. I'm pretty sure Biden was talking about. Oh yeah, get tested a lot. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Biden was talking about how we're gonna do an even like a lockdown almost, like an even bigger lockdown.
I don't think you need a
of the
lockdown.
country, and it would just wipe.
Beyond
It would. Yeah, I know because we have the vaccine coming out, so we wouldn't even.
It depends on like.
need that, but-
I'm just of the mind that people aren't doing their job. Like people in the South are just going to parties and stuff, and like down there it's not like a big thing. Like
Yeah.
or like it's
Well, they're smaller, rural. You know what I mean? I mean, even if you go to the bigger cities, they're more progressive and will probably take more care and caution.
You gotta hope so. You gotta hope so. Like, just I don't know. I just think that people they need to start doing their job. That's the problem. It's like people aren't following the COVID regulations that are just in place to help you.
Yeah, I found out that 50%, around 50% of people, I'll have to double check this, but around 50% of people who got COVID permanently lose some sense of their taste afterwards. And I think if you tell Southern people that they're gonna lose their taste permanently if they get COVID, then they might start.
I saw something about erectile dysfunction.
Erectile dysfunction.
Erectile dysfunction from COVID.
Bro, tell these Southern people. Tell them. Well, I'm trying to help them. Tell these Southern people, you're not gonna eat your fine cuisine. You're not gonna be able to fuck. You know, you can't.
Cuisine.
It'll ruin the culture. You don't want that. You don't want that.
Well,
obviously, you don't want to ruin the
It
culture.
drops to 0 after.
What?
Yeah. No more incest.
No more incest. Oh, what was
You
the
don't know how much to trust these things. You see these things like it's constantly changing.
Now, incest is an interesting topic. Now, incest. I mean, it's not moral to be in a relationship with
I don't know. Me and my
blood related.
are fine with it,
But there's different degrees. There's obviously different. I mean, my cousins think otherwise, but there's different degrees of incest. Let's say you live in a small community. Obviously, the people you get along with are going to be your siblings, so you do develop this kind of strong bond. That's what I hear. That's the defense.
Incest is wrong. Incest is wrong.
It is immoral, and it's not right for the children you bring, and it's not right mentally. But
man, it just feels.
But
right.
if it feels right.
No, it was what was that?
I know. I understand in certain situations.
I saw the other day. It was like a meme. It was like incest porn. And it was like, it was somebody like, you need to die, you're immoral and wrong. And it's like, no, I got something. And it said step.
Oh, nice. Yeah, saved by the
Step.
Yeah. So I mean, I always have my worries about the vaccine too. It's just,
Back in the vaccine.
There's been some like cases where the vaccine backfires and people get sent to hospitals, and it's just, because it's a different kind of vaccine. The normal vaccine is just where they take a weakened version of the virus. This vaccine apparently is it's an mRNA vaccine where it gives your DNA, your immune system, your whatever fights it off. It gives them kind of programming. It gives them the instructions to fight COVID, and a lot of the times it goes a step above, so it really damages their immune system. Or it'll cause neurological problems because with the coding and programming of the neurons and how to fight it. So I mean, I am a little weary, but at the same time, we need this vaccine. If we need this excuse to open everything back up. I mean, the vaccine is in the summer, everyone's just going to be like, people are going to be skeptical, but if you have the vaccine, you're going to be able to go out to eat more, you're going to be able to hang out with your friends. It's just, who wouldn't take it, right?
Yeah, it's a lot like Rocky IV, Ivan Drago. If I die, I die. I feel like that's just my thing right now. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it for the sake of America.
I'm going to do it too.
Yeah. Also, I heard there's some presidents right now that are like online. They're like, yeah, I'll take it. I think it's like Bush, Clinton, and Barack are all like will be the first ones to take it.
Yeah,
that'd be nice.
Great leaders. Yeah.
I mean, I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of all of those presidents, really. I mean, Bush is interesting. I actually don't mind Bush as much as other people.
Dick Cheney was the real president.
Dick Cheney. Oh my. Wish my name was Dick or Richard.
Richard.
Have you seen
Richard
Vice?
Krekorian.
No, I haven't seen Vice, but I want to watch it.
Vice, yeah, watch Vice. This is an endorsement for Vice.
Endorsement for Vice.
Yeah.
Are we getting endorsements from this?
No, I'm endorsing. I'm endorsing.
You're everyone.
Yeah,
That's like when
I'm the one giving
Bernie
out.
Sanders was on Joe Rogan, and then remember that whole ad? Like it was like Joe Rogan endorses Bernie Sanders.
I didn't see that.
And then like liberals were mad because like Joe Rogan has like obviously
He said some controversial.
I love Joe Rogan.
Yeah, Meghan McCain
I
brings
watched
this
Joe
up.
Rogan.
Haven't seen him once, but I love him.
He's good. I like his podcast.
I haven't seen
He's
Joe
good.
Rogan
I mean,
once.
he's big for a reason, so that's all I gotta say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Chris, do you have anything else that you want to end with?
We could do a definitive ranking of our chains or fast food restaurants.
Fast food restaurant. Okay, let's do it. So number one.
What's included? What,
What's yeah,
what's
give
the
us- do we have
parameters?
a-
Okay, so I feel like any chain restaurant, like even fast food, like Dunkin' Donuts, McDonald's, that counts.
So let's just do our top 5.
Top 5. Yeah, let's do top 5. Let's do
Top five, okay.
All right. Do you want to start or do you want me to start?
You can start there.
All right, let me start. So number one, I would have to say is Five Guys. Five Guys is beautiful. Oh my God, delicious, great burgers, great fries. The free peanuts. Obviously, you can't do free peanuts in COVID, so that's kind of a, points off as a con, but fantastic. I love that, dude. The malt vinegar, delicious. Okay, so that's number one, especially on the East Coast, is blows up. Yeah, Five Guys, great. Okay, second, I would have to say Wendy's, because it is so, like the 4 for $4, you get the 4 for $4, you're set. I love, getting the Frosty and the fries. Get a large fry and a Frosty. Sometimes they have deals where Frosties are like $1, so it's like great. And I'll get one of those. Let's see what else. I think number 3, probably I would have to say Honeydew. I like Honeydew. Their breakfast sandwich. I like Honeydew breakfast sandwiches. They're kind of tied with Dunkin', but I don't really go to Dunkin' that much, so I'm just gonna say Honeydew. And it's close, so that's it. Okay, it was close by my home, so that's where I'll go. It's got Five Guys, Wendy's, Honeydew. Oh my God, I'm blanking. What else is there? McDonald's, I guess. McDonald's got good breakfast. They got good breakfast. And the play place, dude. That was
The play place at McDonald's?
As a kid.
Parents would not let me in there.
Birthday parties at McDonald's. That place is fun. Yeah, at McDonald's, and they got, I don't know. It's just so, it's not healthy, but it's so good. They just nail it. It's good. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. And the last one I would say is DQ. Now DQ.
Oh, that's a really good one. I didn't even think of that.
DQ. Now listen, DQ is not good in a lot of parts of the country. Apparently, it gets some heat.
Northeast, great.
Northeast, fantastic, dude.
Wow.
Up in my hometown of Milford. I'm from Milford, Massachusetts. We have one of the best performing DQs in America.
Here in Manchester, Connecticut.
So good, and it's a hangout spot. They have one of those rides where you put the quarters in and next to it.
Did your
Oh
Dairy
my
Queen
gosh.
have the food, or did it just like?
We got the food and the ice cream
You
too.
got it.
I always go peanut butter
I've never
parfait
had
and a
DQ.
chasket. You get
I've
a
never had
chasket,
DQ food.
Never.
Never had
chicken
DQ
basket?
food.
Chicken strip basket. Yep.
a chasket. You're set.
You're good.
God, if I was gonna rank my, so if I'm gonna rank
Yeah,
my
what about
fast food / like chain restaurants, number one is McDonald's.
McDonald's. Yeah.
McDonald's is the American dream.
Yeah, they're versatile too.
It's the greatest chain restaurant in America.
And
Number
approved
2,
each
Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A
I've never
slaps.
been. I've never been.
Really
I've never been to Chick-fil-A.
overrated. That's a hot take.
Expensive.
Okay.
I do like their cause.
It's good. It's just.
They're Christians. They're people of God.
Oh God.
They're people of God.
You guys
Yeah.
wanna get some Chick-fil-A after this?
Chick-fil-A.
I wish they were. Wait, where? There's no Chick-fil-A in Boston.
You'd have to no. There's like you can go. to
There's
Train
one.
Line.
There's legitimately one
You go
next
north,
to my.
right?
What's that Kanye lyric? It's like, you want Chick-fil-A?
Yeah.
There's
Oh,
one
yeah, this new
Chick-fil-A.
album?
There's a Chick-fil-A right next to my house back
Chick-fil-A.
home. Literally 5 minutes away.
Yeah, I think you can go a train ride up in Boston. You go north, and there's a Chick-fil-A up there. I'm pretty sure, but it's a lengthy ride. Anyway, continue.
Number 3, Texas Roadhouse.
Are we including?
We
I
can't
said
do
chain-
family
chain-
restaurants.
chain-
Oh,
It's
chain.
not a family
Oh,
restaurant.
chain. I thought you said fast food.
Chain / fast food. Like most fast foods are
Oh
chains.
man, you're putting me in.
Oh my God.
Yes, Texas Roadhouse. Texas Roadhouse.
I'll put Texas Roadhouse.
Oh
up there,
my
too.
God, Texas
That's
Roadhouse is
oh my
so
God.
good.
You get a good cut of a Dallas fillet or like,
No, you gotta get
Oh.
a sirloin. You get a sirloin.
you get. Oh my
Let's go to Texas
dude,
Roadhouse.
yes, the rolls and the sweet potato.
I don't know how long they're open today, but I 100% would go.
Yeah.
But we don't
Wendy's.
support indoor dining because that's.
We don't support. Yeah. We order takeout.
Yeah, you wanna go to
Honestly, I feel like I can get Uber Eats from Texas Roadhouse. It just takes a long time.
Probably. It would take a long
It'd be
time.
expensive as fuck.
Because it'd be long, and it'd be cold by the time you have to nuke it.
That's true.
Yeah.
Number 4, Wendy's. The Wendy's chili is by far the greatest secret in American history.
They have so many. I have a bunch of friends. They do have good salads.
Wendy's has really good
They
salads.
have nice burgers. They have nice salads. Their chicken, the crispy chicken.
Wendy's
is so
good. I don't know why people bash on Wendy's. Wendy's slaps.
I don't know how you can. Always fresh, never frozen. You know. I had a lot of friends.
Burger King's gutter trash. Literally, it's
Burger
disgusting.
King, I don't endorse.
Like
I don't.
soggy.
That's one thing I don't endorse. Is burgers.
Do you
We
want
don't endorse
soggy buns? Go to Burger King.
No, but a lot of my friends worked at Wendy's, and they would tell me secret menu items. So like the
Krabby Patty secret one.
the Frosty Chino or something.
They
put on a.
So you know, like Travis Scott. You know, how Travis Scott goes to like Wendy's. What celebrity goes to McDonald's? What celebrity do you think's going to Wendy's?
To Wendy's, Aziz Ansari.
Gal Gadot.
Gal Gadot. No. Who's a redhead? Maybe a redhead that might work for the. Who's that person? Have you seen the Russian Doll on Netflix?
Russian Doll, no.
No. Oh,
I've seen Queen's Gambit though.
Is there a redhead in there?
Queen's Gambit.
Look up Russian Doll actor. Yeah. I'm pretty sure if Awkwafina Nora from Queens, I'm pretty sure she's also Natasha Lyonne. She would endorse it. Yeah. Okay, what's next? What do you got?
Number 5.
Number 5.
P.F. Chang's.
P.F. Chang's? Oh, I did not realize that. I would say any local. Like any local Chinese food, but that's not a chain. Well, some of them are chains.
I'm just a huge fan of P.F. Chang's.
P.F. Chang's.
P.F. Chang's is so good.
Chinese food is so good.
Literally orange chicken. Gosh. Oh my god. Fuck.
To die for.
Yeah.
Lemon chicken.
Kelly, how about you?
Well, now that Texas Roadhouse is in the mix, gotta go with them number 1.
Number 1.
Number 2, I agree. I had Five Guys originally.
Number 2, Five Guys. Yeah.
Because the burger and
it's so good. I mean, it's pretty expensive. It's pretty expensive, but it's worth it. Oh my god! And it fills you up, dude. You feel kind of like crap afterwards, but it's so worth it.
Number 3, I'm a sucker for Popeyes.
Popeyes.
Oh, Popeyes crispy chicken sandwich, so good.
So good.
I never had Popeyes, but yeah.
4, I'll say I love Moe's. I love the chips, and I feel like I gotta have some variety.
Moe's is good.
I've never been to
Chipotle. Why didn't I put Chipotle up there?
Chipotle's pretty good too.
I like Moe's better. Like I think
we have a good Chipotle.
Burritos are pretty similar, but I think the Moe's chips are just so good.
Yeah.
Like, go back for the chips.
Oh my god, with the was it the lime salt and whatever?
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's so good. That's good.
Number 5, there's a toss-up for me between Wendy's and Domino's, but I love the cinnamon breadsticks from Domino's.
From Domino's? If you get a pan pizza from Domino's, one of my friends put me on pan pizzas from Domino's. Delicious. Oh my gosh. You get all the cheeses, bro. You get the garlic sauce.
Have you had deep dish pizza? Because I've never had that before.
I've never had deep dish because I'm not a fan of pizza sauce. I don't like tomatoes, dude. Anti-tomato.
That's his thing.
That's my thing.
That
yeah,
I
don't like. Some people just don't like tomatoes.
I don't like tomatoes, like eat it straight up.
Yeah, no, obviously.
That's odd.
Like you won't eat it in a salad. It's just my taste buds. I just don't like it.
It's the opposite for me. I feel like pizza doesn't have enough sauce on it sometimes, and it needs more sauce.
And that's why you like deep dish.
Yeah, I like deep dish. It's not bad.
I have been to Chicago and. I've had to skip a few meals, but
I hear deep dish is the most overrated.
Oh, really?
In Chicago, they have like a thing like New York has the New York slice of pizza, like Chicago is the deep dish. So it's like you're in Chicago, like, oh, what's the best? That's like the conversation. What's the best deep dish? Where you're in Chicago, what's the best New York slice?
Pizza in America, Frank Pepe's.
Frank Pepe's.
Never been.
Connecticut. So if you're in the Connecticut area.
Yeah. Check it out.
Frank Pepe's.
Only Manchester, Connecticut.
Check it out, yeah. Manchester.
Oh, Manchester. Yeah, SNHU up there.
So is
Southern
that
New Hampshire
yes,
University?
New? Yes, yeah.
Not New Hampshire, Manchester.
Manchester.
Oh, Manchester, Connecticut. Oh my God, I thought you were talking about Manchester,
Connecticut.
New
I
Hampshire.
haven't been to Manchester, New Hampshire.
New Hampshire. That is a nice place.
What do you call it?
So what was that? So you got Texas Roadhouse, Five Guys, Popeyes,
Moe's,
and then
Domino's or Wendy's.
Domino's, baby. I love it, dude. Yeah.
God bless those
Used to be
Domino's, man.
breadsticks, now bread.
Bread twist, yeah, like the knots,
Breadsticks were
kind of.
better, but the knots are still.
Yeah, the knots are still.
Breadsticks were not PC enough.
No. We need to
Yeah.
twist it up, you know?
Yeah, we do have to twist. Or if you get one of those like lava cakes.
Oh,
Oh my
the
god,
lava-
with
yeah.
the icing, you ever get the?
Oh,
No,
dude, I've
it's
literally-
too much, dude.
That's-
I used to get
It's too
sick
much.
on that. It's so good though.
Yeah, I would get sick on that. It's so
It's still good.
delicious. Yeah, I mean,
Why not?
you sign up.
Chocolate.
You sign up for it, but.
Chocolate lava cake sounds.
But
so
yeah,
good.
okay. Would you like to end on anything, Chris?
No, just like,
You promoting anything?
Yeah. Do you? Where can people find you?
oh, they can find. They can. You know what? If you want.
In the
yo-
Suffolk Library,
Oh yeah, no, I work
Every
at the
Tuesday
Suffolk
night.
Computer Lab.
Tuesday night, Suffolk Library.
Hit me up on Insta, Chris_Krekorian, Krekorian. Or hit me up on my phone, 978-382-5549, you know.
Yeah.
Just give me a call sometime.
And the TED Culture, we put the channel. We got this up on the channel. We do have an Instagram. It's TED Culture, and we are aiming to put this up on Spotify. Hopefully, it's up on Spotify by the time this comes out. And we'll probably get a Twitter up and going soon. So
We're all over.
yeah, we're all over it, dude. We're covering the land. So
We're gonna get canceled on Twitter, 100%.
yeah. Well, Chris, it is absolutely my pleasure to have you. I'm so glad you are our first guest, and you gave us some great stories, some great content.
I would
I'd
love to
have
come
you.
back.
Yeah, I would love to have you
100%.
back
I'd love
on
to come back.
sometimes. Thank you so much. All right, and thank you for listening to our very first episode of TED Culture. Hopefully, we can see you soon. Hopefully, another episode comes out real soon.
Thanks, guys.
And so I hope you tune into that. So thank you very much. And
Shout out all the little people.
shout out all the big little people and the little big people. All right, ready? 3, 2, 1.